What's up, traders? Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, August 29th, and I've got a weekly market profile forecast for you guys. Normally do them on Sunday, but wasn't able to get it done last night, so we are diving in this evening. So without any further ado or wasting any time, let's just dig into the NQ session profiles here to start us off. I want to discuss some major levels that I'm going to be looking for acceptance above or rejection below, and that's going to give us some high probability trades moving into the week. So first and foremost, I'm going to be looking for price to get back into Friday's range. We had a massive range of 641 points on Friday. So these levels from that session are going to be very important. This low being the first one, 12,557. You can see that I have it marked off over here on the left. And next up, I'm going to be looking at settlement. Settlement from Friday, 12,620. That is also going to be a very, very important level to get above, as it coincides with today's high as well at 12,610. You can also see that is the value area low on the volume profile from Friday, right around 12,625. So this 10-15 point range, if we can get acceptance above that area, that's going to significantly increase the probability of us moving up towards this naked point of control at 12,808, 12,807. Okay, so this, again, if we can get up here, of course we have a long ways to go. We have about 300 points, but we have to work our way there by getting acceptance above these prior levels. If we do not get acceptance and move, essentially acceptance, for those of you guys not familiar or as familiar with market profile terms, it means to trade or spend time, do business above certain levels. If price spends time or does business above levels, it means that it is being accepted as fair value. So in a nutshell, and I'm coming out with a market profile course, so there's going to be a lot to feast on if you guys are interested in learning more about the profile. But in general, if we get accepted or if we do business, significant amount of transactions, trades, however you want to think about it, if we do that above certain major levels, prior levels, especially in huge profiles like this, that increases probability towards one side or another, right? So that's what I talk about when I do these weekly videos. And this is how I'm trading. I'm using this market generated information that tells us about the two-way auction process. And I'm using that in combination with my on-chart tools, like what's in the Trading Network proprietary indicator package, like the momentum oscillators and the moving averages and things like that. And I am gaining or acquiring high probability trade opportunity based on all of these factors and all of this information put together. So that is just, I suppose, more of a high level idea or view of how I'm using this to my advantage to actually take high probability trades. And you guys can, of course, go watch my scalping videos and see how I'm using market profile levels, as well as things like moving averages and momentum oscillators and fib pivots and stuff like that, to get really great trade opportunity. So without going on too much of a tangent here, basically, just to reiterate, I'm going to be looking at 12,557 first and foremost. We got to get above that and hold above that to get a retest of this area of today's high and the settlement from Friday. So if we can move and hold above that, then of course I will be looking for a bit more of some trending price action, very likely up into that naked POC. Now on the downside, if we can't get back into Friday's range, if we can't get above value from today or from today's regular trading hour session and above today's high, then we're very likely to go down and revisit, of course, today's regular trading hours low at 12,448 and last night's overnight low at 12,4. So that brings me on over to the weekly profile. You can see that at 12,427, we have a naked POC from the week of July 25th. Okay. Now, naked POCs, again, for those not as familiar with the profile, those are typically areas of dense liquidity. Price seeks liquidity to then absorb it and ultimately move, further in the same direction or reject and go seek its next large dense pocket of liquidity at very often market profile levels. Now, on a more macro scale, these weekly profiles and these weekly profile levels can hold a lot of weight, and they can help us significantly gauge what is likely to happen and where we might likely go. So it probably goes without saying, but we were just looking at this area down here, that overnight low. We already went down below that naked POC, but because we haven't touched it in a regular trading hour session, it is still naked, if you will, or is still untapped, right? So these weekly profiles, the way that I like to look at my weekly profiles is RTH, or regular trading hours only, because there's a lot of times less volume, or always really less volume in the overnight session. And I want to make sure that I'm looking at major levels from regular trading hours sessions and not lower weighted levels from the overnight. And this has done me very well. There are a lot of ways to skin this cat. A lot of people, combined both RTH and ETH and look at their weekly profiles that way. But this is kind of my steez. I look at RTH only, and it does very well for me. So if you guys want to check it out, I will likely make another video on how to set up a weekly market profile. I do have a video on how to set up the regular market profile if you have a lifetime license on Ninja. So you can check that out for sure. But again, don't want to get into another tangent. Just wanted to kind of explain why and what I'm looking at, because a lot of you guys might not know that I am looking at RTH weekly levels and not extended trading hours. Now, just so you guys know, the main reason that I like to look at, or prefer to look at, the RTH weekly levels and exclude extended trading hours is because there's much less volume and much less action taking place in the extended trading hours. So I'd really rather not have that ETH data in my weekly profiles, kind of muddying up the information, if you will. And of course, everybody has their own way. There's a lot of people that like to look at the ETH in their weekly profiles, and they do great with it. But this is just kind of my thing. And I would be happy to show you guys how I set this up. If you're interested, please leave some comments below. And if I get enough of them, maybe I will do a weekly market profile setup as well, in addition to the regular market profile video that I have. But without going on another tangent here, this 427 level is going to be very important. If we break this level and we can't hold it as support, then that's going to increase the probability significantly of us moving back into the value area low of that same weekly profile from July 25th. And then after that, I'll be looking at the value area low from the week before that at 12.2, and that's going to be from the week of July 18th. And of course, we've got some downside levels after that to look at, but I think that's about 300 points to the downside. So we've got a lot of levels to work through to the downside before we get there as well. Keeping in mind that, the NQ profile on Friday was 641 points. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, when price expands so much, it's usually not going to continue to expand at that rate, but we have no idea what the market has in store for us. So we've got to take it level by level every single day. So on the weekly level, on the weekly basis, I should say, to the downside, that's kind of the situation. 427, 267, and then 202. And of course, we've got those smaller levels, 448, 401 on the session profile, but I'd really be paying attention to those major weekly levels, especially because of that expansion that we got. Now, to the upside, if we can get back into last week's range, then I will be looking for, of course, moves back up to these prior weekly levels and these prior session levels. We have 12,557 is Friday's low, 12,610 is today's high. Above that, I'd be looking at 12,624, 12,652, 12,737, and then that 12,8-ish area, which we have that naked POC from Friday at. Now, let's move on over to ES. Very, very similar situation as far as today's high and the low / value area low of last Friday. What's interesting about ES that Alex brought up in the live stream today, shout out to Alex. He is one of our TTN pro traders, and he has some great insight on, how the different sectors move, and that's what he was discussing today. So Alex was basically just saying today that because, of course, S&P has the energy sector involved, and the energy sector was the only green sector today, that ES was getting a little bit more love from the bulls. Now, you can see how similar the profiles were, but for those of you guys trading intraday and especially watching the difference between ES and NQ, those are just little bits of nuance that you can notice and start to use to your advantage, especially if you're trading both instruments. They move very, very closely together, but you'll notice that little bit of nuance or that little bit of difference between both, depending on how the different sectors are doing, or just based on pure price action and how the individual indices are reacting to market profile levels, for instance. So on ES, as you guys probably already can imagine, it's going to be very similar. I'm going to be looking for whether or not we can move back into last week's range, Friday's range, and if we can get above today's high at 40.64 on ES. If we can get back into Friday's range and move and hold above 40.64, then that is, of course, going to increase the probability significantly of us going and tapping, you guessed it, the naked POC from Friday on ES this time at 41.1025. Now, if we cannot get back into Friday's range, if we can't move and hold back above today's high at 40.64, then same deal. I'm going to be looking for, of course, a retest of yesterday's low. If we can't hold that, very likely a move back down into the overnight low, and we have a naked POC. This is where it actually differs a little bit more between ES and NQ. ES has a little bit further to go to that naked POC. Whereas if we looked at NQ, right, NQ technically already went below that naked POC level at 427, right? We touched 400, but we didn't touch it in a regular trading hour session. ES, on the other hand, has not gotten anywhere close to that naked POC, regardless of whether it was in an RTH or ETH session. So there is a little bit of a difference there, but regardless, we are going to want to watch reaction at these levels because the market could go either way. We could continue downside into these lower naked POCs on ES and NQ, or we could catch support on last week's levels and we can move our way up to these upper naked POCs. Very important, as always, to take it level by level. So I hope this is informative for you guys. I hope you are taking advantage of this information, especially in combination with tools like the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package. But really, regardless of whatever tools you're using, I hope that you are able to take value from this market profile analysis and use it to strengthen your trading journey. With the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package in mind, I want to let you guys know that with the discount code TTN2K, you guys now can get 20% off all of the products on our website other than one-on-one mentorship. This is a small thank you from me to the broader YouTube trading community for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. We just surpassed 2,000 subs over the weekend, so I just wanted to extend a little bit of a thank you and a discount code to some of the products for a limited time for you guys showing me love throughout the entire time that I have been creating content and releasing it on this channel. So again, if you guys want to get 20% off the indicator package, the FFT course, Discord access, or the bundles, any combination of products other than the mentorship, of course, you can use that code TTN2K and get 20% off. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below and I will help any way I can. If you guys are interested in learning more, if you have any questions about what the live streams entail or what you will get in the Discord, as always, please feel free to check out the tradingnetwork.io where we have more information and you can use that discount code, again, TTN2K, to get 20% off all of those products that I previously mentioned. Thank you guys very much for being a part of the Trading Network. Thank you so much for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you for the love, and I will see you in the next video.